Hi everyone, Persephone here. If you wanna see a very cool boss, you are in the right place, because in this video we're taking a look at Lihuvium, Principal Architect. Now this boss, during his main phases, only has 4 mechanics, but don't let that fool you. There is a lot of stuff to manage here, since at least 3 of the 4 mechanics interact with each other a lot. The tanks must avoid a frontal that does a lot of damage. Nothing too fancy here, this is not the most interesting mechanic in the boss fight. Now, every one and then, the boss will put synthesize unstable mode on some players. On our raid size, it was usually 6. After a delay, these players will leave an unstable mode on the ground. Now, if these are touched by anyone, they will explode, dealing damage and leaving a zone of light on the ground. If you stand in the zone for too long, you'll get one shot by it, so don't do that. You don't want to stack these bombs or people will run into each other and create a chain reaction. We loosely stacked them, always taking care when moving away from them. Now, the active tank and another player will get targeted by deconstructing blasts. These are bombs that will detonate after a bit, leaving a damage increase debuff on them and removing the unstable modes they hit. You wanna use this to clear the arena before it gets clattered. This is also when you tank swap, of course. Lastly, the boss will cast Cosmic Shift. This will deal a lot of raid damage and knock everyone's back. Don't get knocked back into the mods or you'll have a bad time. Up until now, this is a fun boss, but a very simple one. This is where the intermission comes in. The boss will start meditating in the middle of the room, radiating an almost unhealable amount of raid-wide damage that will be reduced by 90% if you stand in one of the 4 forges, so you should roar and windrush together soon. Here, 4 types of ads will basically be 3D printed. You can kill them before they activate if you have enough DPS, basically removing one or more type of ads from the face. We initially focused on 1, then later tried splitting the raid to get 2, but we failed. I am sure in a more organized raid environment on live servers it will be kinda easy to do that. Now, there are 4 types of ads, let's take a look. The generation automas comes in groups of 4. They fixate on random players and deal crazy amount of damage to them. We took this out first in our best pool. Acquisition automa is a big one that will detonate on death, dealing damage and knocking people back. Like way back. So have a wall behind you. Guardian Automa, which is basically our old buddy Guardian of the first one from Sanctum of Domination, will spawn Sentry Automas. These will go around dealing damage to players near them. You want to outrange them, even though the damage is healable enough. This ad will also need to be tanked. Lastly, Defense Matrix Automa will cast a big shield that protects the other automas. This guy was buggy and he basically casted the shield forever, never leaving the forge. We can assume this will change in the live version. This could, however, be the intended design, since after each phase the forges will change position, and the defense matrix could, for example, protect the generation automas during the spawn if you don't kill the defense matrix automa. After a bit, the boss will activate too, so you want to kill the automas as fast as possible. Now, during a pull we got 2 guardians and 0 degeneration automas. I'm not sure if this is a bug or this is intended. If it's intended, it could mean too much RNG during intermission, which I wouldn't like too much. We'll see. Now, what do I think about this boss? This fight was extremely fun. It's for sure my favorite one of the 4 we tested. The management of the mods makes for a challenging main phase, where errors are punished a lot, but doesn't lead to wipes directly, making the fight harder instead by limiting the space you can traverse. Walking in the middle of the cluster of mods to detonate them is anxiety-inducing, but very rewarding. When you make a mistake and start a chain reaction with bombs, knockbacks or anything else, it is actually pretty funny. You didn't cause a wipe, which is what I find annoying in bosses like Fate Scribe Rogallo in Sanctum of Domination. The intermission is fantastic. These ads have a very creative designs, and figuring out the right order to kill them can be so interesting strategically. Killing the Acquisition Automa in the wrong position and flinging the raid to Narnia is also a very fun fuck-up. I also want to talk about the animation of this boss, because they are so creative. These mods flow around him, changing shapes according to the attack he's going to use, giving a lot of readability and telegraph to his kit, such that I was looking at those instead of the weak aura we got for these timers. Also, during intermission he will float in the middle of the room in the lotus position. I found that so funny. This is a very complex boss for being in the first half of the raid, which is kind of interesting. He could be a mid-raid wall like Paintsmith was, and that would be very cool since I think Paintsmith is probably the best non-end boss in Shadowlands so far. Maybe best boss in Shadowlands, period. Once again, every intermission is on a timer, so there is no need to stop DPS during this fight. This is very good, because otherwise you would have seen it a lot here, with the amount of stuff to damage during the ad phase. I'm actually so happy about this. I can't wait to progress this guy on Mythic to see what he has in store in that difficulty. Anyways, from Parsi is everything. May you find mastery in your passions. Cheers!